I'm Jeffrey Fate, and I want to help all of you live with more today. More intention is what we're talking about. But in general, I want to unlock your perfect personalized lifestyle now that you're a year in or more to being a father. Intention is a concept you want to use if you're trying to reach a goal or have an outcome that's very specific. A day-to-day example would be just driving somewhere, right? So if your intention is to reach a destination, you're going to drive toward that destination, right? You're not just going to meander and go whatever way you want. There are probably situations, I can definitely think of a few, where you just want to meander, right? Trying to put your kid to sleep. Your destination is not a place, it's a state for your kid. More than that, an intention is kind of why. So a really good example from my past is at least one that I can think of. The earliest one I can think of that that makes this real is when I finished my first 2 years of college. They always had the freshman 15, right? You gain 15 pounds. But mine was more like a freshman and sophomore 50, which was not good, obviously. Maybe at least 30 anyway. And that really hit me hard when I got home, right? And I actually the first two, anyway, after the first 2 years, I was back at my parents' house, and things get a lot easier and or harder depending on how you're looking at it. But I started to live with intention there about my weight, and I don't remember why. I didn't know anything about a scientific outcome for this process, but I just basically stopped eating breakfast or stopped eating in the morning. I still had like a breakfast meal, but it was at 12 or 1 or something like that. So little did I know, I was basically practicing some form of intermittent fasting or some sort of fasting, which we can talk about later. But the intention was that I wanted to do something. I wanted to take charge of what I'm eating and when, or at the very least when I'm eating, to try and curb this weight problem that I had. Well, intention's all great and everything, but what does this have to do with me being a dad or having a perfect personalized lifestyle? There's a huge change, and you become more responsible for someone else, right? Like you're maybe responsible in certain ways to your significant other or your rest of your larger family, but this really hits home when you have a small being that you're responsible for, and you have to really make everything count. Your time is more limited. Your ability to be yourself is more limited. Obviously, being more than yourself is a great thing. Everybody who's a father recognizes that, but you also want to be your own self. So in order to do that, in order to figure out what you really need and what you want from life, to still be that individual, but also to be a better individual so you can be that other part of your family, you want to live with intention. An example that I've done recently, or not recently, but picked back up recently after my 20-month-old now has sort of, I have stabilized since he's been born finally, is regular workouts with intention. There are a lot of other things I do with intention, but that's an example that I think a lot of people can relate to. You may be exercising, you may be going to the gym, and you just randomly, I wouldn't say anybody specifically is doing this, but there are people that I'm sure go and hit the gym and they just hit a machine, or they just like it because it's easy or something like that. But without even knowing whether or not you like it or it's easy, just choose something that is going to get to what you want to get to, have intention with it. Next couple episodes, we'll talk about what kind of happens after you have intention and what that goes with, being like action and results and repetition, iteration. All those things are very important to dial in what you're looking for. This works in so many levels, in so many arenas, so many different ways your life and your work and everything is handled. So it's a good first step to start with. I wouldn't say it's always the first step, but that's what we're starting with today, because it sort of simplifies things in the way that you can think about how you're doing things, because intention is always there unless you're just meandering, which is great to meander sometimes, but I know, at least from my perspective, and I think a lot of fathers' perspective, is that things change a lot when you are the first-time father, and you need to change how you do things to make the life that you want. That's what we're focusing on here. So keep watching. Hopefully I'm not babbling way too much, or I hope this is valuable, and if it's not valuable, leave a comment, email me. It's Jeffrey@dadsunlocked.com, and that's what we're calling it, Dads Unlocked. That's what I want to do for all you dads out there. Let's keep it going, and I'll talk to you in the next one.